Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of your show called Tai Chi For You. And it's already the end of the month. We're in April, and I just was looking, I got fascinated with the weather. And on this date, it tells you the highs and lows. And I think the lowest was 29 degrees in maybe like 1992. And then it was up to 81 degrees in 97, I think was the date. So, again, welcome to New England. Everybody out there that's watching us from all over the country and across the pond. So, that's, I don't know why I wanted to start off with talking about the weather, but I guess that's what we do in New England. The other thing I wanted to talk about, well, there's a few things on the agenda tonight. Um, Lining up a special guest I have coming up in May. And she is actually a doctor, Dr. Amanda. And she is a health, wellness, and life coach as well. She has a doctorate in pharmacy. So you could tell just when I met her at that health fair, she's very passionate about helping people. And again, it's all about lifestyle. And there is, I guess, a time and a place for medicines, but there's also other modalities that she's researched. And again, with this research, she's trying to get to that root cause of the problem, not just to use the expression, put a Band-Aid on it. So, so she agreed to be on board with us coming up in May. No more saying April after tonight. Um, but the different modalities, one specific she's going to talk about is using the patches, different, and she'll bring some examples and be talking about that way. It really is just to help people with from sleep to weight loss, anxiety, all these different ideas. And the basic, and again, she's the expert on it. It's a non-invasive, drug-free patches, and they work on the neurological pathways. Okay, I'm going to leave her to be saying that anyway. But the whole idea is that healthy lifestyle. And when I spoke with her, uh, like I say, she has other ways of helping people, but this was kind of like a breakthrough that she did her research on. It's not just the latest fad out there. There's different athletes use it, um, other doctors use it. So again, it's always a good sign to see if someone recommends something that they're actually a patient as well. The other thing we wanted to talk about today is the ongoing classes at the Northbridge Senior Center. And we had a very interesting class last week. We really took the time to break down and study and get feedback from each other. And again, I learn a lot from my students. I'd like to think they learn a lot from me, but I learn just as much listening and getting the feedback from them. And one of the things was the breathing when we talked about that, where we try to, again, the long, slow, deep breath, but depending, everybody's body is different. You might have a harder time filling up the lungs or not holding the breath, but having released slow and then try to gasp again. So instead of one breath, just again, take two breaths or three if you have to on each of the moves. So that was something we'll get up and demonstrate, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. The other thing was the idea of not so much just copying me when I do a move. It's for you it's an internal martial art. So you want to feel that connection that you have to being grounded or being connected to the higher source or connecting internally to your own feeling. What hurts, like if I say, you know, turn out, if you can't turn that far, you're listening to your body and you'll get just as much out of it when you know your limits and you're able to sort of if you ever got a maybe like a sports massage or something where it's a, I don't want to use the word painful, but they tell you to, breathe through it. And again, that breath is all part of it. There isn't really one thing I could say that um, this is it to do. You have to incorporate the breathing, the balance, that mind body connection. All that's important for Tai Chi. And let's see, some of the other things really I wanted to discuss was the idea of being consistent when we talk about doing anything, um, whether it's a medication or meditation, and it may not work right away. They tell you, complete if take take the full 11 days or whatever the prescription is. Yeah, you might feel better after one, or you might not feel anything, but you need to really be consistent. So when we're if you're just trying meditation and you just no, didn't work. You didn't even know what you were trying to feel, but you in your mind didn't work. You didn't give it time. So, and I noticed that with the students that are coming back for the classes each week, the ones that are coming back are, I'm seeing the difference, and they're telling me they're feeling the difference. That confident level is going up. So, with that going up, now they go into a deeper meaning for them of what Tai Chi is accomplishing for them, and it does so much. It helps people with. We focus more on balance, but it's great for just um, confidence level for one thing, but the gross motor skills is all the fine motor skills, things like that, or if you have to steady yourself for a period of time, you're able to do it. Maybe standing on a ladder, something like that, that you maybe struggled with a little bit. I know that's the example for me, and it's really helped me now with my balance and my ability to just stand longer or um, have that controlled breath that helps me with other forms of exercise, whether it's a sport or just weight, working with weights or resistance bands, things like that. The breathing, again, is very important. So why don't we clear our little space, get up, let me set this down. And we have we could have the stool nearby if we need it. And again, these are the tools. You don't need a lot of special clothing. You don't need a yoga mat. Again, nothing against yoga, nothing against any of these other equipment. You see the total gym and all that, which is great. But after a while, it might just turn into a giant coat hanger on the side of the on the side of your room. But the idea with Tai Chi, you really just need comfortable clothing because there is you don't want to restrict that range of movement with you. So let's begin with our basic warming up. And again, this is your warm up. Don't it doesn't have to be an exact copy of mine, but the idea, the principle is to just be loose and relaxed. Relax the shoulders. elbows are out, just, and the arms just a light swing. You could also add some tapping. And again, this is to wake up the chi or get the energy flowing, get the blood flowing. All those just basic things that you do with any warm up for any sport. And you could do some extensions when we do our breathing. Nice breath in and out. And this is what I was talking about with some people, they can't just do the move with one full breath in. And one full breath to complete the move. So if you have to, if you feel you've reached your limit there, exhale. And then inhale again. And then exhale, and you might have exhaled too fast, so take another breath in at any point and exhale it back out. But if you could control the timing of it, that breath in, and nice breath out, just like that. Good. And we could do some side, well, it's also the neck and shoulders as well, but that idea of looking behind, and that go to the other side, and that idea of that slight twist, and there's the breath in, complete it all the way to breath out, to get the breath in on that twist, and the breath out just like that. When we also move down to the shoulders, we're just rotating in either direction, that shifting from front to back, and then go from back to front. And I'm not squeezing the shoulders as much as just rolling them around, getting them loose. See how the elbows are out to the side slightly too. Just like that. Good. And when we drop down to the hip area, it's that idea of the side. Well, you're getting the front and the sides and the back all the way around. Just like that. And opposite direction. 3, 2, 1. Good. Drop down when we do the knees. Knees are slightly bent. And we're circling that around. Again, start to lubricate that knee area. One of the other great warm-up exercises we do is for the knee is just a still posture, but we're massaging the knee, the sides of the knee, the back. All this helps bring blood to the surface, for one, but it's also warming up the areas as well. So you want to balance yourself out and do both legs. And again, I have clients that are wheelchair, or if you just have trouble standing and you need to sit for a while, that all these exercises we adjust so you can do these in the chair. But anytime you're sitting in a chair and you're bored, get that circulation going. Some nice, gentle, but have that connection and get that blood flowing. Just like that. Good. Go down to the ankles, and this is why we have the stool here. Or you could use your countertop, whatever. You just want it there if you need it, or just have that connection. It's not a hold on tight. It's just there if I need it. And rotate that ankle just like that. And the fingers can come off, but there's the connection that just mind, just knowing that connection's there helps. and you could take the hand off and do your circles. But when you connect, it just sort of lets the mind know that, okay, you're a little more stable, so you can focus more on the control circling of the ankle, or you can even do an up and down. And all these are just ideas. When you're doing these at home, one of the exercises we did was the 500 claps, where we warm up and we go up the arm and down. And one of the students was, oh, this feels really great on my shoulder. So when you're home doing it, obviously in the class, you know, we're going to keep moving along, but, you know, spend a little time and, you know, work your shoulder and just relax it. And just like we did with the knee, work that whole area. And you could just, you know, brush as well. If the tapping, if you bruise easy or you don't want to make a lot of noise, a nice brushing movement is just as beneficial. But you want to get to the point where you're really building up that resistance, and you know, you get a good pat down the side just like that, and imagine that idea of being jabbed, something gonna, you know, come at hit you. You can take a pretty good solid hit just like that. When we warm up, we talk about energy, or we could say nerve endings on the fingertips. There's a lot going on right just like that on the fingertips. Just that little warm up. Or you could do what the someone that does piano, they know this warm up. I was taught this one by someone, a musician. So front and back, front and back, front and back, front and back. And then we like to end with a few karate chops, and it's just that connection and that bounce. Just make that connection, and with the wrists as well. So those are, again, the importance of that warm up before we really start anything. So with the Tai Chi, we teach the Yang style Tai Chi, and that is the most popular one. It has, well, there's different versions of it, but we use the 24 form. And we're coming along, we're learning that in the class on Monday, but when a new person comes in, that's what's great about it. You can jump in at any time. It's not like we're learning a symphony, and you know, everything has to be learned at the beginning before you can get to the next page, to the next page, the next page. You jump in, and when I always say the basics are the basics, every move that we do has that aspect of that weight shift and the yin and yang symbol here, perfect for tonight. That hand down, hand up. So think of it as like gears, maybe in a clock in a tower. So all those gears are moving just to keep that clock face moving, so you don't actually see the hands move. But if you look away and go back, it's at a different position. But in the meantime, there was all these gears moving continuously to get to that point. So when the first move, there is no movement, and that is called the mountain pose. And when we get into mountain pose, this is where that Eastern, Western philosophies, I don't want to say clash, but to say differ. We think of, you know, stand up straight, shoulders back, arms tight, knees, legs straight. The Eastern idea is to be more rooted and grounded. So there's that slight drop that I did, but the back does stay straight. That's important. And again, that helps with the breathing, with the breath. That diaphragm muscle is what's actually pulling that air in and expelling it as well. But going to the feet, that weight shift is a little bit more on that ball of the foot. And we stay straight and we relax the shoulders. And we sort of open the arms up a little bit. Imagine if you were like just pointing with your elbows. And what that does is slightly curve in on the shoulders. And the chin does tuck in a little bit. And there's our mountain pose versus the more Western military standard attention pose. And this could be a meditative pose where you could raise the hands up and hold it into like a hug the tree pose we call as well. And you just slow the breath down, but they're deep breathing exercises. And this is that where you slow the mind down as well, that monkey mind. But we're in that first position, that mountain. Then we go into the next position, which is called horse stance. And the transition to that one is the weight shifts onto the right foot by sort of dropping in a little bit more, so you get more of a really good connection with the foot to the earth. And there's a couple options we use. We can slide out and then adjust into our 50-50 weight distribution. You'll see other positions where it's mountain and then it's down, and they actually lift up, go out, and then come out. But again, what works for you. If you're having a little trouble, or if you're on a rug and you know it might be a little bit tougher, do that step. But don't just step flat. Step with the ball of the foot, then shift in and get into that 50-50. Good. And then the next move is that opening move, or sometimes you hear them say Tai Chi arms. And this is a very basic, but it's also a very beautiful move. And the basic is the idea of bringing the arms up, then in, and then down. But when we use the Tai Chi principles, we don't want to overextend. So I'm reaching up, not, too high, about heart level, I always say. And then the idea of continuous, that flow into the heart, and then that idea of pushing down. So there's that up, in, and down. Now, this is where we talked about the breathing. It can be one breath in, or if you can't, just breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. And that might be the better way to go to begin, or for beginners, because you want to do what's natural, but again, you want to be learning. So know the end game, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The end game is to spiral down, step out lightly, then adjust into the 50-50, and then go right into the Tai Chi arms. And every move has that weight shift. And then we're back into what's called hold the ball pose. And then when the foot goes out, there's that weight shift onto the front foot. And there's that hand down, hand up position. Same thing, stepping up, stepping out, weight shift, hand down, hand up. And when I show all the moves, I try to show the martial art application, or the idea of a block or a punch. And what happens is there is no shield here, no bones to really, I mean, you have your ribs, but there's a lot here that could do damage if you get, hit with something. So you want to kind of have that visualize that these moves are done with the idea of I'm protecting this area with either, from a kick or from a punch or a block. And then the idea, same thing from both sides. There is a lot to it, but the benefits really far outweigh any of the struggles that you might come across with learning something. And it doesn't matter if it's Tai Chi, the struggles of learning to play an instrument, where, I've tried and you get the blisters on the fingers. You guitar players know that one. You have to build up. And again, the results, you're able to play the guitar. So, and you enjoy it. That's the thing. I want to see people enjoy Tai Chi. So don't worry about doing it perfect. You want to do it for you. You want to get the benefits of Tai Chi. And you are going to get them. I talk about just being consistent. So that about wraps up for tonight. We have May. We got some exciting things coming up with some guests. I'm going to do a couple of workshops. I'll have the dates for you soon. And one of them's going to be free. So we'll get more people out there. Just, you're curious, come on out. It'll be on a Saturday. How about that? So that'll knock off another excuse for some of you people. We'd like to see more people out just enjoying and getting the many benefits of Tai Chi. So until next time, this is Tai Chi for you.